Heretofore, prior to this point, Anthony, I had refrained from feeling or really talking about the thing about when is this going to happen? When's it going to happen, right? Because I felt Monday kind of beneath the Patriots or beneath Bill Belichick to have him thrown to the curb on Black Monday like everybody else. Okay. And then we give it one more day just to pad it out. But I know when we were talking about this last week, I think we said if it's not done this week by Friday, then something's up, something's wrong. You don't feel good about it. So that's how we came into the week. So the first 2 days, I'm like, all right, I can totally see it playing out this way, no problem. For the first time, I'm just starting to feel a little bit like, okay, now we're getting to be about I know we said Friday, but I'm starting to feel here on Wednesday at 2:06 in the afternoon. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? I'm starting to feel that way. Am I wrong to feel that way?
No. The longer it goes on, the worse it is. So I think, again, sometimes with these things you don't know. And anybody tells you, well, the pattern is this, the pattern is that. Really? Tell me the last time a coach for the Patriots who worked 24 years for the organization took him to 9 Super Bowls and won 6. When's the last time that happened and he got fired? It's never happened.
Right. There's no template.
No, there is no template. This is an entirely uncharted territory. And I would argue that the longer it goes on, the worse it is. So, because I think a lot of people woke up today and said exactly what you felt. When? What's going on?
What are you hemming and hawing for?
What's the hang-up?
Well, can I give you what my guess now is starting to be?
Sure.
Because it's not just the feeling of, okay, now what are we doing, guys? It's, I just have a guess based on reporting, based on, maybe some conversations with people who talk to people and blah, blah, blah. There's definitely people in that building who are ready, who are sitting there poised, ready to go. Maybe some people in power, some people not in power, but they're ready
to go, meaning what?
They're ready. They're ready to move on from Belichick. They're ready. Let's go. But it's ultimately Robert Kraft's decision, and Robert's the one sitting there with his finger on the button. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people in that building going, Robert, Dad, it's time to press the button. Something like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That it really comes down to one guy, and it comes down to Robert Kraft.
Sure. Then push the button.
Could lawyers, sorry to cut you off, Mazz, but could lawyers be holding this up?
Sure. Obviously. I mean, and I don't mean to say, dismiss that. I'm sure there's lawyers involved. Robert could still say, all right, well, we'll deal with the legal stuff afterwards. I'm, putting my foot down, pushing the button, and you're out. And I think that's sort of where we're at.
I mean, there are a lot of reasons it could be hung up. I think they don't want to pay the money.
Okay.
Or he's just caught up in the sentimentality of the whole thing like fans are.
My guess is it's more a second thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
They're going to have to pay him the money. Like, get over that. Like, they should have come to grips with that a while ago. Even Mike Reese on Monday said Bill's going to get his money. So, Mike Reese obviously tapped in. When Mike Reese says that, yeah, Bill's going to get his money. That's been conveyed to Bill's not going to let him out of that. So it's something far easier, which is just sort of the perception of it.
Well, then that's pathetic.
Robert's sort of hung up on the perception, and you say sentimentality. Another way to put that is the PR of it.
That's pathetic.
It's never going to be easier for him now. He'll take a PR hit for a couple of days, and maybe if Bill goes to another team and wins, but after a couple of days here, it'll be like, okay, who we getting next? Who's the next guy?
I mean,
it won't last that long.
So I'm sorry. I keep coming back to the same thing. Is it the fact that they know they're going to have to pay him, so they don't want to pay a guy who's not working for them? In other words, you see what I mean? I still come back to that. I'm sorry. So what? He's going to go work for another team, and they have to pay it, and they can't stomach that?
Hey, look, Mazz.
I'm not yelling at you.
Yell at me. Saying, I have no idea. I mean, other than the reporting and just a hunch that I'm getting, a sense that I'm getting. That doesn't mean I know. So sure, it could be hung up over the money.
Sure.
If I had to guess, it's not. And again, I just take clues and, hints from the media and the reporting, and I know where stuff comes from, and I know who talks to who. Mike Reese on Monday to Beetle and Zoe, I think he's going to get his money. So like that to me tells me the building has come to grips with the fact that we're not going to get out of the money. Bill's not going to let us out of the money, or at least that's not. I don't know.
That's not the hang up.
I mean, and it could be. Like, I'm not telling you I know. I'm just telling you my feeling today that it's more the other thing. I mean, I listened to Bert Breer on earlier somewhere, and he was talking about the same thing. It's like, okay, the Crafts and the team really, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but the team wants to make this a mutual parting of the ways. Just because it's an easier PR hit for Robert, and he's hypersensitive to this stuff. And Bill says to him, I mean, okay, but I'm a free agent and I get paid my contract. And the Patriots are saying, well, no, as part of that, we'd like to be able to, maybe swing a trade and get something in return. And Bill's saying to him,
no,
you don't get it all. You want me to help you smooth out a press release? That's fine. I mean, maybe. That's what Bert said. Okay. I don't know if Bill's even going to give him that. But if that's what they're looking for, I mean, I'll go along with you on a press release, but I'm a free agent and you owe me my money. And now it's hung up. So maybe, Bert was implying maybe there is a sort of hang up there with the money or something. But something tells me it's more this first thing.
Yeah. Look, again, so I'll settle on this. Whatever it is, if they want to move on, but something is preventing them from doing it, ballless. Ballless.
Almost. Not quite yet.
Ballless.
Not quite yet. If we get through Friday.
I said if it is that.
Yeah.
If that's what's delaying it.
Well,
ballless.
Okay. We're letting them negotiate for a couple of days, right?
Yeah. I'm getting tired of it already.
Right,
ballless.
So I'm not going in the ballless category yet.
I am. In fact, I'm starting construction in the ballless area. Ballless. 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 If you don't want the guy and you are resisting announcing the decision because either you don't want to pay him or you're worried about the PR hit, ballless. Grow a pair along with an appendage and pull the trigger. Move on. If you want to keep him, they've had, Mike, weeks and months to think about this. Weeks and months.
Anthony, you're there. I'm starting to get there.
I know. I know. Again, I'm sorry. I'm impatient. I'm a little agitated today in general.
Good. Take it out on the show.
That aside, grow a freaking sack and make a decision.
And I think that if you're delivering that message down there, it's to Robert.
And I have no doubt that, again, the buck stops with the owner. It doesn't go any farther than that.
I think others are ready to go. Others are ready to go.
They should be.
And I wonder if there's people down there looking at Robert saying, okay, Robert, here we are. We know the situation. It's been going on, whatever, 72 hours, whatever the math is. Here we go. Okay, now the other teams are getting to put in formal requests for interviews for other personnel. Now, I know you can't interview coaches for a couple of weeks, but you can put in the request to line up the interviews. Other teams have started to do that. GM interviews are taking place, I think, as we speak, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Haven't teams requested the assistant there in San Francisco, and he's already lined up interviews?
Yes.
So the musical chairs it started, and even if you think you have an inside track on Vrabel or Mayo or whatever the case,
if they want to fill out the staff, they're being left behind.
The offseason has started.
You still need a personnel guy.
And I was willing to give him Monday, and I understand Tuesday. Now here we are on Wednesday, and I'm starting to
get antsy
a little, and I'm really starting to pick up and maybe there's others down there who are as well. Like, okay, when are we going to do this, Robert?
No, what are we waiting for?
And it does come down to Robert. Now our lawyer's involved, I'm sure, and they all try.
Like you said, you can do that after the fact. You can put out the press release and say, "Hey, he's gone."
There's always going to be lawyers there, finger futzing with something, and there's always a clause. There's always, but the crux of this is, I mean, to me, it's just only two issues. Are you going to pay him the money, and what's the release going to sound like?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else is there really? I mean, who brought this up earlier? Maybe there was a third thing. I was, again, listening to Beadle and Ted Johnson this afternoon. I think they said this. What if Bill is negotiating exits for some of his staff? I.e. his kids or, people who are loyal to him.
Let him go.
Well, let him go. Well, but what's are there severance packages? Are there payments? Are there money due? Blah, blah, blah.
Did you hear the latest on the staff?
I get
Greer?
very simple answers to all this stuff, but go ahead.
Pay them and get rid of them.
Are they under contract?
I don't
then
know.
pay them.
I don't know.
I don't know if those guys were talking about it towards the end of their show, but Breer had an update on the staff half hour ago on Twitter. With things still uncertain in New England yesterday, Patriots coach Bill Belichick gave his coaching staff the next couple of weeks off, per sources. Some are still finishing up work. They're scheduled to be back a week from Monday. Question is, what do they return to?
Yeah, their house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, couch.
Yeah, to the ballless zone.
Let's give you some breaking news here, if we could, please, folks.
This is Breaking Sports News.
Powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
On 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Per Adam Schefter, blue check mark, Pete Carroll is expected to be out as Seahawks head coach per sources.
Wow.
Wow. I didn't see this coming.
Wow. Freaking dominoes falling everywhere and big ones. Wow. I didn't see that. Did you?
No.
That's going to be more his choice than anything else.
Did they go 9-8, 10-7? One of the two.
Being fired is usually, I guess it could be. I think getting fired was Vrabel's choice. Being fired is Belichick's choice. Okay,
said he
go
could
ahead.
still remain in the organization, but not as the head coach.
Well, that's too bad. I was kind of hoping so we could go from Parcells to Pete to Bill back to Pete. That's awesome. They're all falling all over the place.
It's a fun story. I don't see any
No way.
impact here.
No.
No.
Zero.
I really don't. I mean, obviously not a candidate to be back here, but I don't see him being a domino that relates to here, unless Seattle says we really want Vrabel.
Exactly.
That.
But it is a job. So there is a potential element there of that's a job that no one saw coming.
Sure.
So there might be candidates on the market that go, ooh.
Yeah, well, so here's how it relates to you. If you were in on Vrabel, if you were in on Harbaugh, if you were in on the big game hunting, big fish, Seattle's probably a big fish job, I would think. I don't know. It's the Paul Allen money. I don't know. I don't know if that's a big job or not. But if it is, there's more competition. And maybe Seattle's a team that says, well, we like Pete. We've had a good track record here and everything. But, we can get Vrabel, or they've already back-channeled a Vrabel or a Harbaugh. And if you were in the running for one of those guys, then you're out. Other than that, I just think it's a good news pop. I don't think it really relates to this situation.
No, it doesn't. I would agree. I mean, I say it, just that you could have the, what do they call those, palindromes, that it's the same way going out as it was going in.
Abel was I, ere I saw Elba.
Yeah. So, in theory.
You know what that is, Murray?
It's a palindrome.
No.
Napoleon, when he got exiled to the island of Elba.
Yes.
Greatest palindrome in the history of palindromes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Say it again. What was it?
Abel was I, ere I saw Elba.
Correct. That's exactly right. Palindrome. And you know what? I don't know.
Abba.
Harbaugh to Seattle, NFC West, going toe-to-toe with the Niners. Not bad.
Okay. So add that to the list. Pete Carroll's gone.
Wow.
When is Bill Belichick going to hit the street?
5:00 today.
Next Wednesday.
And what's holding it up? Insights are out there to glean.